2, 1. We are live. Hello, Facebook, and hello, YouTube. My name is Sean. I am a returning citizen here at Wings for Life International. This is Wings Weekend Review. We got a great show today. We have our co-founder and Edenfield Suite. We have a special birthday today. Mary, 75 years old, guys. We're going to sing her happy birthday. We have Raymond Bombo from Liberia. He's the director of the Liberian Wings for Life in Africa. And a special guest, Deborah Orler, will be appearing shortly. And I have a news clip to show you about her. She's done her time in prison. She's been out about 15 years. She's saving lives. She's helping homeless. She's like a miracle. And you'll see the news clip. And then you get to meet her personally. First, I'm going to give you Ann Edenfield Sweet, who started this whole thing.
Well, this is Wings Weekend Review. Oh, I better look at the camera. So here we are. And so I've got Mary with us. So the big news this week was the most incredible gift of all. So Mary, tell us about the gift that you made to Wings.
Okay, well, a friend of mine passed away last December, right before Christmas. And he had money that she wanted to give to people who were important in her life. And there was 3 of us. And so we got a third of the money. And so I was thinking about the best way to recognize her would be to donate it to Wings for Life in Africa so that they could get the roof on their building and their wall up so that they could start their business.
So yeah, what a gift. So Mary is giving basically $11,000. We'll see what the costs are to be able to get that money over to Liberia. But that's, Mary, that's the amount of money that was needed. They needed $13,000, $2,000 to come in donations. They needed $11,000, and here you are. I mean, talk about an answer to prayer. And Elvira was a dear, sweet, precious lady. She came to Wings occasionally. She helped us. She donated things. I knew her. She came into our office. And unfortunately, she passed away. But I know she's looking down, and her life work and part of the legacy that she is leaving is now going to transform lives in Liberia, because it is going to give jobs. It is going to change lives. It's going to teach skills, and it will truly make a difference. And so, Mary, we are just so grateful. Mary and I have cried over this, and it just, I was just blown away when she expressed that she was going to do this. So we are just so grateful. And on this very special day, so I think we should sing happy birthday. Don't you think? We've got others in our office here. So happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mary. Happy birthday to you.
Dad, I'm on a live
And many
stream.
more. Many more, Mary. Many more.
Thank you.
And
I'm going to mute her for a minute.
and
Just getting
so
settled.
anyway, so that was the real highlight of the week. Then on Monday night, this past Monday, actually I was trying to think about what we did, and it was me. I talked about ethics. What is right? What is wrong? What is black? What is white? And it was very interesting because we had conversations with youth that were here visiting from Fort Worth, Texas. And it was fun to hear the youth and get their ideas and the returning citizens, and just the combination was very healthy and very good. Now, this Monday night, we are going to have a very exciting guest. She is the head of our Albuquerque Public Schools, which is one of the biggest school systems in the country. And she teaches sexual harassment and teaches us about policies and ways to keep ourselves safe, whether we're females, whether we're males. And also for the children, how do we keep the children safe? So I'm really excited about this, because with the Me Too movement, with so many changes that have taken place, everybody in the workplace, in schools, and at home, we need to teach the kids about how to stay safe, and all of us as well. And so that's going to be a very powerful talk. So that will be this Monday night on the 25th. And then other than that, we have just been busy going out to remote areas in New Mexico. Yesterday, I spent a day out in a town called Mountain Air, beautiful little community. And we're hoping that they will be one of the small little communities that will benefit from some of the junior funds that Wings should be receiving. And when we start up 8 programs around New Mexico, and once we do that, then we'll be able to start up programs anywhere in the world. And so it's been an exciting week as always at Wings. And we're just grateful that you're with us today. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Ann. Thank you. I do, guys. And Deborah, hello, and we'll be right with you, Deborah. I got another guest in Liberia, Africa. He runs our Wings for Life in Liberia, and then we're going to get to you. And I have the news clip. I do want to let people know who have been watching my federal prison talk. I've been doing a show about a horse called Foxy that is on a ranch here outside of Albuquerque. You know, Win Simon. So, yeah.
Okay,
so one of his horses, 24 years old, needed surgery, $6,000.
Oh my!
So I was trying to help raise some money, and unfortunately, guys, he called me yesterday morning. Foxy she didn't make it. She lasted 3 days waiting for surgery, and she didn't make it.
Yes, team.
So, but thanks you all for your prayers, people, and we know that Foxy's in a good place. Because I do believe animals go to heaven too. So Wynn wants to thank each and every one of you for praying and calling and going to the website. Thank you for your support. And now let's go to Liberia, Africa, where we have Raymond Bombo, who is our director over there. Raymond, tell us what's going on in Africa, and then we'll get to you, Deborah. Is he asleep?
Did we lose Raymond there?
Maybe
we were talking to him a second ago, but this is Africa, back to New Mexico. We are one of those 50 states that people think are missing.
He's a great man. He's frozen in time, guys. But
I wanted to have him share his reaction to that incredible gift because he when we first called him, his mouth was just wide open, like, what?
Yeah.
He tell me again what Mary said. Remember, he wasn't sure about that.
Hopefully he'll try to come back. I'm going to show you guys the news clip about our guest. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. So we'll say goodbye, and if Raymond comes back, maybe we'll scoot in. Otherwise, folks, we'll see you next week. Thanks for joining us.
Okay. And here we go.
Well, in the Bay Area, there are so many people willing to help others, and each person really has a different reason for why they're lending a hand.
For one Peninsula woman, the reason she helps the homeless is deeply personal. In fact, it's a story of life and death. Garvin Thomas shares her remarkable journey in tonight's Bay Area Proud.
Janelle, Jessica, you guys know I've been at this a while, right? Well, in all that time, I can't recall another person I've met who has been through as much as Deborah Orler. At one point during our interview, I just stopped and asked her, how is she still alive? She laughed and said, there's a reason, then showed me what it was.
So here's the washcloth.
The phrase getting clean has more than one meaning. There is, of course, what folks will do with the soaps, socks, and shampoo that Deborah Orler and her team are putting into bags to hand out to those living on the streets.
So 50 and 40, that's 90.
Now, just why Deborah has spent her Saturdays for the past 10 years doing this? Well, that has everything to do with the other kind of getting clean.
Recovery. Recovery changes your life.
Deborah smoked her first joint when she was just 8 years old. What followed were decades of addiction and abuse, of time spent in foster care and prison cells. Deborah was well into her 40s by the time she finally broke the cycle. These hygiene kits, her way of making up for lost years.
This is what we're put on this earth to do. We're not put here to take. We're put here to give.
It was, Deborah says, a second chance at life, but not, it turns out, her last. On this day, she's planning to hand out hundreds of sleeping bags. Once again, coming back from hard times.
I was on life support a year ago, and I almost didn't make it. And so, you know, this is my way of saying thank you to God for everything he's done and still doing.
Deborah, you see, has had a lifelong heart condition. One that required a transplant a couple of years ago.
Did you guys want a sleeping bag?
Once back on her feet, Deborah redoubled her efforts to help others.
Did you get one? Not yet.
Not slowing down,
There you go.
even as that new heart is showing signs of rejection.
I don't want to say I was born to lose, but I've had a lot of hard knocks. The minute I bring...
Deborah is able to laugh because she feels she's living on time she didn't earn. It's time God granted her. And while she doesn't know how much more of it she has left,
You're welcome.
she does know exactly how she wants to spend it.
Why did you choose a 55-year-old woman that has messed up so much and has done so many things that were unworthy of a new heart? Hello. He knew that I was going to go and give back and that I was going to use it for exactly what he gave it for me for.
Just to give you one more indication of how dedicated Deborah is to what she's doing, she won a community service award that came with $15,000 for her. Now, even facing her medical challenges, she's decided not to use it for herself. It's
Of course.
the money she used to buy those sleeping bags.
That's incredible.
Remarkable. She is such an incredible person. Thank you, Garvin.
And there you guys go. Let's get Deborah on here. There she is. Deborah, can you hear me?
I can.
Yeah, thank you so much. And Deborah has a few other news clips on, if you Google her name, and maybe I could pull another one up she wanted me to show you. She just won the Jefferson Award. Is that correct?
Yes, March 9th on my birthday.
On your birthday. Wow. So that's just great. And guys, I know Deborah personally. I've known maybe 10 years, 8 years.
Yeah.
Deborah knew me when I went to prison, guys. Her and a good friend of her, James, have saved all my letters. And they showed me when I got out, and they got to help me when I got out of prison, and stay clean and sober and do the right thing and go forward. And here she is today, doing remarkable things. Deborah, maybe you could tell people a little bit about you and
Right. Picture of you with your guitar.
Is that it?
That's a picture of you with your guitar in a card that you sent us.
We're not hearing you. We missed that.
I said that was a picture of you with your guitar.
Oh, in prison.
Yes.
That's what happened in that picture. I was looking for that.
You sent it to us.
I sent it to you. That's why I haven't been able to find it. All right, I want a copy of that. That's great. That's great that you guys have that up there. So, Deborah, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself? And I know you did some time in prison. That was a long time ago. You totally turned your life around since then. But, people always want to hear what prison's like for women. We don't have to go into detail, but let them know who you are and what you're doing today and about your Hearts for Humanity.
So basically, it looks a little something like this. I was born to 2 addict parents. I'll be brief with it, which led me to a life of the disease of addiction. I also picked up a nasty little habit called shoplifting. And those two paired together got me my very first prison stint. My first prison stint was in the 90s. I went to Chowchilla State Prison the first time. I kind of got to learn the ropes of what it was going to be like because I made a few mistakes and I got beat up and it was kind of brutal. I think the saying that will always stick in my head is you might have came here with 16 months, but you're going to leave in a pine box. And, I was pretty devastated to hear that comment because it came to reality for me. And then, of course, it followed by 3 more stints, and one of the lifers said, you look at me and you think, oh, poor you're doing life, but you're doing it as well. You're just doing it on the installment plan.
Yeah, that installment plan.
You dirty person. How dare you say that, But it was a reality for me. I continued to give up my freedom. There was a point in 1996 when I actually had a child and, I left that child with my mom. so that I could go and pursue the disease of addiction. And I kept getting the same results over and over and over again. Nothing changed. In 2005, I came into the rooms and kind of thought I wanted to stay. It didn't happen. I got off probation and I thought, oh, I'm free and clear, ready to roll. And so I went out and I had some drinks. And when I have drinks, it usually leads to something else.
Yeah.
And after, doing that for a couple of months, I got in trouble again. And I went into a program called Bridges, which is where they put an ankle monitor on you and you are there every single day and they drug test you and
I know the program
every day. Yeah. So then, I actually had done really good and I made it to second phase in that program. And then all of a sudden, it came down to where there was a guy in the program that, I found a liking to, and we ended up dating. And the guy, started using, so I started using. And when I tested dirty, my probation officer said to me, well, I don't know why, but you're coming up positive for cocaine. And I was like, oh, I don't know. Maybe something I ate, it's not, I didn't do it.
Right.
I don't want to get in trouble.
Of course
said,
not.
well, I'll tell you what, we'll send it out to the lab and we'll see when it comes back. Well, the lab only takes a couple of days and it was a Friday. And I thought, well, at least I have the weekend.
Yeah.
So I partied my ears off all weekend. And come Monday morning when I went in, they said, Deborah, you are dirty. It is positive for cocaine. And, normally every other person that's ever gone through this program, we put them in jail. But you were going to do something different. And I thought, oh, goody.
Goody. I'm
so
special.
What I want you to do is, I know that you're very involved in the rooms of recovery, and I want you to bring in speakers for the other people. So I started bringing in speakers into the meeting. Into the program. Every Friday, there would be an afternoon speaker. And, I did pretty good for a little while. And then, my final relapse almost cost me my life. I had a couple seizures like within a week of each other.
That was your bottom, I'm guessing, right?
That was my bottom. When the first seizure, I thought, oh, that's my bottom, but little did I know there was a basement. Right. So I ended up getting out. And when I had the first seizure, I had some cocaine in my bra. And so when I came home, it was on the floor. And I thought, oh, goody, not, oh, my God, I need to get rid of this. No, it was, oh, goody. And the minute that I did it, I had another seizure. And then I thought, what? So in the rooms of recovery, there's a saying that says jails, institutions, and death.
Oh, my.
And, I had already been to jail multiple times. I had already been to institutions, prison, and I was knocking on death's door. And so I went over to my mother's apartment, which one of the things is after the first seizure, my mother had gotten intoxicated and came over to my apartment and beat me up. And, my son had to call 911. So this is called children caught in the crossfire, right?
Oh, right. Children caught in the crossfire.
Yeah. So I, when I came home, when I went to my mom's house, there was a little bit of bad blood going on. I didn't really want to go there, but I wanted to save my life. I did not want to remain in the life that I had been living currently. So I, because I knew if I stayed home, all the old friends would come by, they'd be calling me. So I just wanted to get rid of my phone and start over. And so I stayed at my parents' house for a couple of weeks until I felt a little more stable and foundationed. And, and then I actually ended up moving from San Bruno, where I was currently living, and going in and going over to San Mateo, where I made a new fellowship, started going to church. When I first started going to church, I started because there was a meeting there called Higher Power.
Oh, yeah.
I loved that meeting, and I used to go there every Friday night. And then there was a gentleman there named Steve Orell, who has since passed away, God rest his soul. And he said, we have church on Sundays in that building right across the hall. And I was like, oh, okay. So I started going to church, but I didn't go because I was trying to get saved. I went because I was trying to save the relationship I was in.
So you weren't trying to find God, you were trying to find Steve or somebody, right?
Yeah. I was trying, yeah. So I went over there and I started going to church. And then as I got to hear the bulletins, they said, we do something once a month called the Bags of Love. And Bags of Love is where they make 150 bag lunches at the church and they take them to San Francisco's Tenderloin and pass them out. And I really liked it. And then we had another weekend where they said, we're going to be serving all weekend. It's called Love Works. And so we went out into the community and we painted boys and girls centers, and we did what was that called? Habitat for Humanity. We built like mini houses. We did a bunch of stuff in the community. And one of the things was going to the Tenderloin again. And I went, and, you know, for some reason, I think because of my disease of addiction, I was called, right? My higher power called me.
Can you tell people what the Tenderloin is? There's a lot of people watching that don't live in California or San Francisco.
Oh yeah, don't go there. No, it's it's an area. It's a quite a big, large area of 6th Street and around that has a lot of addicts. It's where they tend to gravitate to, and unfortunately, it's riddled with drugs. It's riddled with addiction. It's where people go to get lost.
I'd say it's 20 blocks by 20 blocks of homeless tents and feces and hypodermic needles. Pretty much, is that the Tenderloin?
Yes, that's the Tenderloin.
Yeah.
And, you know, I have multiple pictures. I don't post those on my website because, you know, people don't want to see that. They don't want to see the reality of what's going on, but that's what's really going on. And it's still like that. You know, I spent my morning this morning loading up my Ford Expedition with all these clothes and hygiene bags. And I drove to San Francisco to the Tenderloin at 8 o'clock this morning. And, you know, that was my Friday. That son that I talked about that got caught in the crossfire, him and I are very good friends these days. And, you know, I've rekindled and rebuilt that relationship over time.
Oh, yeah, not to meet your son. And you know, I've personally seen Deborah go on Saturdays and Sunday, different days, and hand out sleeping bags and socks and lunches and food and guys. And this lady is a miracle, a wonder. Because I've known you personally. So, and then we got to see on the news clip. So how long, you've been out of prison, 15 years now?
It's been 15 years. And so, but in doing this, in the time that I have turned my life around, you know, I was born with a heart condition. And,
yeah, I wanted to get to that.
You know, I went in 2019 and I had a heart transplant with a lot of complications. Right. I was on dialysis. I got CMV. I got nocardia. I had COVID in 2020 before it even hit the pandemic time.
Right.
And then, you know, then I went in for a simple, they wanted to look at a scrape on my ankle. And they said, you know, your white blood cell count is low. And, you know, prior to this, let me back up a little bit. The gentleman that I work for had said to me, hey, what is it that you want to do? I said, you know, I've been watching this inspirational speaker. His name is Brendan Bouchard, and he's really great. And I had read one of his books called The Golden Ticket. And so I went to the seminar in San Diego, and something came into my mind that I wanted to, at some point in my life, start a nonprofit. So I went in and I had a heart transplant in 2019, all these complications. I went in for a scrape on my ankle and I ended up on life support. And I was on life support for a month. And there was several times during that month that the doctors called my parents and said, you might want to come and say your goodbyes because it's not looking good and she's taking a turn for the worst.
I don't know if I ever got to tell you this, but I was in prison when you were in surgery. I had 20 guys praying for you on a daily basis.
Well, they must have been doing a great job because I came out of that coma or whatever it was, the life support. And when I woke up, it was the day before my birthday. And, you know, so when I got back on my feet, which took me another 6 months because I couldn't walk and I was in a diaper. I had to learn how to walk all over again. And immediately, as soon as I started, because I started on a website called Nextdoor, which is a neighborhood. I live in the village of San Mateo, a neighborhood website that, you know, I was collecting clothing. So I started collecting clothing, and like it was coming in barrages. I was doing it before I went in, but I took it to a whole new level, and I decided that I really wanted to launch my nonprofit. So I've been working really hard at, I do hygiene bags at my church once a month, where we make 150 hygiene bags. I collect clothing. Every Sunday, I'm in Redwood City at all the homeless encampments, passing out meals. We do 80 meals every Sunday. I've partnered up with Street Life Ministries. And, and what's come out of that is about a month ago, I got my EIN number, and somebody else created my website for me. And I opened a Venmo last week, a business Venmo. And I'm taking this to the limit, because I want to touch and change as many lives as I can. Now, I just don't want to hand them hygiene bags and something to eat. I want to ask them, what are your needs? I actually like to sit down with them in their space.
You actually talk to them as if to you, they're people, and you talk to them and you let them know that I'm not just handing you a bag and walking away. You actually have a conversation and you listen to them. I know you do this. And
I have business cards that I hand them, and I say, if you ever need anything, please call me. I get some pretty weird calls, but yeah.
Having been homeless once myself, sometimes all we want is just somebody to hear us.
Yeah, and they want to be treated like human beings. There's a lot of people that walk up and down 6th Street, they're normies, and they grab their purses and they walk past them and look at them like, oh my God. What they don't realize is that's someone's child. That's someone's mom, someone's brother, and I like to go out in search of, and I've lost several friends to the disease, and so,
especially now with the fentanyl, it's really killing
people. Yes, I'll never be able to change people, but I'd like to save some lives while I'm out there doing this.
Right. One life at a time, one day at a time, right? That's how we do it.
That's right.
Let me just acknowledge a few people in the room, Deborah, and a few of these guys want you on their channel. Harvey Talks Prison, great channel, guys. 29 years in Missouri State Prison, and Harvey's turning his life around, trying to help others. Genghis Oyster Sauce, he's another gentleman who's been to prison, turned his life around, has a channel helping people. TJ, who I've kind of helped when he was on his pretrial, and TJ's on his way into probation now, and he got a second chance. And Sean Whalen from Ireland, a lot of these people here, and they'll be calling you. I know Harvey wants you to come on his show soon, Deborah, and you got a fan club going. But today, guys, here at Wings for Life, I've been talking about you, and we want to help you get your Hearts for Humanity nonprofit going. And Ann said she'll talk to you too, right, Ann?
Of course.
And I gave her your phone number. So if you call Ann, she's a very busy woman, but if you call her, she'll if she doesn't answer, she'll call you back. And Ann's been doing this 27 years. So
tell her to call me over the weekend.
Ann says call her over the weekend. Okay.
Okay.
And you guys,
my son's getting married tomorrow, but I will squeeze it in.
We'll do it tomorrow. All right. Because Ann will get you going. She's been doing this a long time, so maybe she can mentor you on how to get your, Hearts for Humanity really taking off. Absolutely.
And as you guys can see from the article, when I get any kind of funding or I get donations, those donations go right back to the streets. It's not like I'm driving a Ferrari and, in fact, I immediately turn around and purchase something that someone needs, whether it be more food, a pair of shoes, like I did 150 hygiene bags. In the winter, I pass out hats and raincoats and gloves. I make sure, I think one of my goals now is I want to rent a warehouse because I get so much stuff that I don't have an apartment anymore. I have a storage space.
I know. And I remember your apartment. You had so many boxes just starting to pile up. And that was a year ago. And now I know it's tenfold probably.
Oh, yes.
You have a great comment here from Ireland. He says you're a very good-natured woman. She has my respect. We all talk about doing something good. Unfortunately, only a small few actually do something about it. You are that small few.
I want to be the change that I want to see in the world. You know, I want to see people actually help people, not just talk about helping them, you know, so it's into action, right?
So
which is part of our book.
Sean lives in Dublin, and I know there's a lot of homeless out there, Sean. Next time you walk by one, you listen to this lady today, and maybe, you know, you can have your own hygiene kits. You were just saying on Angie's show, go to the dollar store, tell them what they can do.
Yeah, so, you know, I go to the dollar store, or, you know, you can always reach out to people that you know, and say, hey, if you travel, give me your travel toiletries, and then buy socks, whether it be at, I don't know if Ireland has Costco's, or Target, but buy socks and just make 10 bags. Start small, right? Make 10 bags, and when you see people, just pass them out. You know, or if you know there's a barrage of people on a street that you drive down often, you know, bring them bananas and granola bars, you know, just anything that's going to make them feel your love, that you actually, like Sean said, that you see them. You know, you're stopping because everybody's in a hurry here and there.
Here in Albuquerque, almost every red light, somebody's there with a sign.
Yeah, and that's why, and I don't like to give people money. That's why I give them hygiene or a snack.
Oh, come here and say that. Mary has something to add to this too. I don't know if you met Mary. She's 75 years today, Deborah. She's our biggest volunteer. She doesn't take a paycheck.
I don't know if I like that.
She runs this place. If we lost Mary, I don't know, but Mary had. She's not gonna lose.
Okay, so I see homeless people coming to work here, and the important thing is to make them feel like they're human. Ask their name, you know, tell them your name, ask their name, and that makes them a person. And so, my friend's name is what is it? Now I'm forgetting it because I'm over here. It's not Margaret. It's anyway. I know her name, but right now she's not there. I guess they have them out of the heat right now.
Yeah, it's like 105 degrees out here a lot of days. I don't know how they survive in Albuquerque being homeless, but they are.
Oh, that's too bad. Buy some cooling towels. Maybe possibly give them a bottle of water and a cooling towel.
Yeah, they usually with their dollars get like drinks from the gasoline stations nearby.
Okay.
Yeah, what I usually do is I like go to the dollar store and pick up the peanut butter crackers. You know, there's like 8 to a package.
Yeah, anything helps. And like Deborah, you said they might. That's not what they want at the time. They want you know, they want you to hand them money or something. But later on that night, you said now they can brush their teeth, and you know they have a toothbrush and a bottle of water, and they can brush their teeth, and you know maybe put some clean socks on it. They might not appreciate it when you hand it to them at that freeway ramp, but later on, they're going to be grateful.
Oh, definitely. You know, and it's all like very common stuff, right? I usually put in mine a pair of socks, a washcloth, a bar of soap, a toothbrush, a toothpaste, a razor, a shaving cream, a pack of tissue, and lotion. And then a mask now, a mask and sanitizer I put in each one. Yeah. But that's all new.
Yeah, that's new stuff.
Yeah. And sunscreen right now, sunscreen.
Yeah, and maybe a little bottle of water so they can rinse their mouth after they brush their teeth. If you know, the little half bottles, maybe. I don't know.
They have them at Costco or actually Smart and Final has these really cute ones. They're Crystal Geyser, but they're like little tiny round ones. They fit perfectly in a Ziploc.
Nice. So that's something every one of us can do. And Deborah, here's the deal: when you hand somebody that bag, how does that make us feel, Deborah? You know,
the feeling makes me feel amazing. It makes my heart. It makes my heart pitter patter because you know, like I said, I want to be the change that I want to see. So if I'm doing something, because a lot of people will complain, the homeless are this, they do that, they make a mess, they collect stuff. Okay, we can complain about things in the world, or we can try and be a part of the solution.
There you go.
And so that's why I give them something to eat. You know, not this Sunday, but next Sunday, I'll be partnering again with Street Life Ministries to go out and we're going to pass out a meal, and inside that bag, which is like a grocery bag, we'll have a hygiene bag in there that'll have socks. One of the biggest things they really need is socks. I don't know about you, but I change I wear flip-flops right now, but change my socks every day.
Yeah.
Then that way they don't get athlete's foot or whatever else that comes about.
Yeah, you're right there. You're right there. An athlete's foot, they do get jungle rot and all that kind of stuff. So everybody listening, also anybody that's listening. So her website's on the screen here. I have it in the description of the video if you want to watch it later. But it's heartsforhumanity.info. Her phone number's there, and if you guys can help Deborah out in any way you can, give her a call. Go to the website. If you have $5, that can make a difference. Help Deborah get this Hearts for Humanity off and go. She's already been doing this for 10 years, guys. So you've seen the news clip, and I wasn't able to find that other news clip, Deborah, but maybe I'll run it later. I can edit it into this video, and I'll put it at the end for everybody to watch.
If you look up March 9th, Jefferson Award winner, it'll come up.
I could probably do that right now. I'm afraid I'll lose the whole channel if I do that. So I'm getting there as far as tech savvy, but when I do it in the middle of a live show, because I have your new clip ready, but I've made this mistake before, and then everything goes. So I don't want to do that anymore.
Okay.
I'm 58 years old, and I'm still learning how to do it.
Hey, you're doing good. You're doing a lot better than me. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, next to her, I feel so young. Thank you, Mary.
I was 58.
But Deborah, you're looking good since I haven't seen you in about a year. Your color's back. Everything looks good. So your the heart rejection thing, is that over with now?
I'm out of heart rejection because they added another medicine that is, of course, trashing my kidneys. But a lot of heart transplant patients end up needing a kidney transplant as well. But as of last week, I went in for a multitude of procedure. I want to say that won't be the last one because my heart valve is leaking now.
Oh, no.
And so they went in and they put what they called a mitral clip. They went through my femoral artery. And apparently when they did it, they over-sedated me and I went into respiratory depression. So they had to give me Narcan intravenously to bring me back. I thought, are you kidding me? I'm in the hospital. I don't live like that anymore.
Well, Deborah, on Tuesdays, we have our staff meeting. We do prayers for people. Me and Mary go to a rosary prayer meeting every Wednesday. So we're gonna pray for you again.
Oh, good. Please do, because they told me the other valve is leaking. So, which the tricuspid was the mitral valve. Now it's the tricuspid valve, which, I have a really wonderful higher power, and he has a plan for my life. And that plan is to go out and serve, right? And I can't serve if I'm laying flat.
No,
right?
you still got work to do
on my feet.
Yeah, you still got work to do. God's not through with you. He's just giving you little wake up reminders. That's all this is.
He's telling me slow down.
No laying down on the job, though.
Yeah.
I know. I hated it last week. They kept me in the hospital overnight, and it was driving me nuts. I was laying there, and I thought, I got to be doing something. I started cleaning the room, I'm in Stanford. The room's already clean. But I started straightening and organizing.
Wow. And maybe you could tell anybody that's looking for sober living, because you're still doing the Action Housing thing, right?
I am. I run Action Housing. We have 5 houses, one in Millbrae, one in San Mateo, one in Redwood City. That's more harm reduction. And then 2 in Redwood City, I should say. And then another one in Mountain View. So if anybody's local and they're looking for, a sober living house, we got great house managers. We like to make sure that everybody's on track, right, with doing exactly what they're supposed to do, and, getting them a good foundation before we send them back out into the world.
That's what you guys did for me. I was there, a couple of years before I went out on my own, and I was there before I went to prison too, and it takes what it takes. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you go on the Action Housing website, the phone number on there listed is my number. So you'd get a hold of me anyway.
And you guys also, aren't you still involved with that the National Sober Living Authority that's out of
National
Montana?
Sober Living. As a matter of fact, we're going to be going to a conference in Las Vegas. I thought, well, okay, I'll go, but
So-
get to learn a little bit more and how to tighten up the ship.
Yeah.
And, I'm also the president of the Kiwanis Club of Greater San Mateo, where, kids need Kiwanis. We got to, when children start at the bottom, and I never thought in my life when I was who I was and when I was going to prison that I would become the president of anything, let alone, be my own director of a nonprofit and the president of a Kiwanis Club, which is, we go out and we serve the community and we serve children and we do conferences and DCMs and, all this wonderful stuff. And I'm just like, wow. And actually I was president the year before, 3 years ago, and they asked me to come back because they really liked the change that they saw and the fact that I'm a go-getter, right? My nickname is the Hammer because I go out and I do things.
That's right. Come a long way, baby, as they say.
That's right.
Do you are you always looking for volunteers?
Always. I actually just signed up on a website called volunteermatch.com. It's like I guess it's a local site, but you have to be signed up. And, I was waiting on the approval forms from them. They said it takes a couple days. But, I'm trying to, make this work. And in order to do that, it takes more than just me. I've been doing this since I've been back on my feet, which was 2020, September of 2020 is when I started right back in. And now we're at 2022, almost in September. So 2 years straight plugging away at this every Sunday doing 80 meals, which means I don't just walk up to one place and hand out meals. I drive around 3.5 hours around Redwood City to all the different homeless encampments.
That's nice. I did that when I was at the Oakland Off the Street Ministries that at their sober living on Friday nights. We did that too. We got in a van. We went to all the homeless camps. It took us 4 hours or something. We had about 100 lunches and socks, and it's a really good feeling. We're out there and it's raining, it's muddy, it's cold, and we're out there on a Friday night, and and kids come out of those tents too. Little children are homeless.
I have a girl that I've been serving. She's 16. Like little children, yes, but there's a 16-year-old and she's been out there for over a year. And I thought, God, if I could only get her off the streets and get her into some teen challenge program or, something that's going to change her life. I know that the only thing, she's always been kind of standoffish with me, but, that son that I talked about, he goes out with me and he serves, whether it be in the Tenderloin or Redwood City. He goes with me once in a while. And I brought him with me 3 weeks ago. And she goes, wow, who's that? And I said, that's my son. And she said, oh, he has beautiful eyes. And, that's the first time she really started to interact. And I thought, whatever it takes to get in.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's that initial conversation that all of a sudden now we have something in common. You think my son is handsome.
Maybe that's, that's a gift right there, because she won't talk to you, but she'll talk to him. And like you said, whatever it takes, initiate that.
It takes a village. See, sometimes I won't be able to reach, for whatever reason, people look at certain people and think, oh, I don't want to talk to that person. They have nothing in common with me. But this person, they're my age, they can probably relate to me.
Oh, yeah, speak their language. They speak the language, yeah.
Yes.
Sure.
And I had my son go with me to the Tenderloin about a year ago, and there was a gentleman, I asked him if he wanted prayer, and he said, no. He goes, I don't want prayer from you, but I'll take it from him. And he was talking about my son. Yeah. And my son looked at me and goes, Mom, I don't know how to pray. I go, yes, you do. You've been watching me do it for years. And so they held hands and he prayed over this man. And I cried. It was like the best, most proudest moment of my life.
Wow. See, I just love hearing these stories. Yeah. Deborah, I don't know what to say. I mean, every time I watch your newscast, tears come to my eyes. Because I watch it every few months. It cheers me up. I think you guys back home there and James, and to Tell James I said hello. James, I've done a few shows. We'll get James on here again. He helps people too. And James, everybody has their own way of helping people, you know?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
He's a great guy. James, can you come say hello?
There we go.
To the live stream. They want to say hello to you.
Tell him that we got people in Ireland watching him, and
John said he
there are
misses
3
you.
channels, James. You're on Wings for Life, Facebook, Wings for Life, YouTube, the Federal Prison Talk. We got people all over the country looking at you right now.
Well, they can't win them all. Very sorry.
James has helped save my life several times, guys. He's watched me go to jail, come out, go back, go to prison. He was still there for me. Helped me get clean and sober, guys. So
I have nowhere else to go.
I'm alive today because of these 2 people here. So, thank you guys.
Especially me.
At least I made it this far.
And now Sean's got his brother too. And now because he's sober, he can help his brother and other people.
That's right. My brother came to his first meeting with us last night on our little group that we do on Thursdays. And 9.5 months. I'm proud of him,
Yeah, good luck to everybody. Stick close to Sean. Sean's doing it right.
We were talking about active housing.
Oh, yeah, get in there.
I'm going to have you on one of these shows too here, James, again.
All right. When you guys are ready for the pain, call me up.
So, Deborah, it's getting close to an hour, but let me give you the final words, the message of hope, whatever you want to say to the people. And, go ahead and talk about, your nonprofit and give it out. It's all you.
Just like Mary, it's Mary, right?
Yes.
Is that the lady? Okay. Just like Mary said, meet people right where they're at and treat them like they're human beings. Have a conversation with them. Ask them their name. Ask them their background and their story. Because, sometimes we judge a book by its cover. And it's not always the story that we're actually looking at. We don't know what battle they've been through or what battle they're in at the time. Hearts for Humanity is my plea to go out there and like I said, save lives, right? Change people, show them a little bit of hope, and love. People need love. That's what we thrive on. That's why God made Adam and Eve, right? So that Adam didn't have to be alone. We're not meant to be alone. So when you see someone sitting on a piece of cardboard by themselves, at least say hi.
I could use a little alone time.
And, I think that's all I have. Just, thank you. And if you're interested, please contact me. My number's on the screen. Hearts for Humanity. You can look me up. If you look up Hearts for Humanity, Redwood City, because for some reason, when you Google it, there's a million different Hearts for Humanity. But if you look up Redwood City, it will have my website, which is actually, I wish I had my shirt on right now, but it's a bunch of hands in the shape of a heart. And obviously I named it because of my heart transplant. Yes, I was selfish. But it is also that I have Hearts for Humanity.
Yeah, that heartsforhumanity.info actually, that .info really helps. It eliminates, the 900,000 other channels.
Yeah, I had a great team that actually built my website, and there's pictures on there of the people, the nice people that I serve, and that makes me happy. It really does.
Yeah. Well, all right, Deborah. I want you to have a great weekend, and you'll be in our prayers again. And you're just doing great things. You keep it up, and I hope you get some calls and people helping you out. Please call Ann over the weekend because I know you guys will hit it off. She's gonna be such a great help to help you get this even going further, and and you can talk all that stuff about boards and grants and all that stuff. I don't know a whole lot about nonprofits, but Ann does. And okay. All right, you still got her number, right?
And thank you for allowing me to be on your channel and, for showcasing my Hearts for Humanity and for asking me my story.
You're welcome. And I know Harvey's going to want you on his channel. He already told me. Can I give Harvey your phone number?
Can.
Okay, I'll do
Now
that.
anybody that watches your channel has my number because that's my
Oh,
cell
yeah,
number.
that's right, it is. Yeah, there you go. Hello, McFly. Sometimes all right. Okay, God bless you. Thanks again, Deborah.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.